Hello there once again, YouTube. This is Starstrike from Team DMK. I was supposed to go up to a tournament today, but I kind of got halfway up there and then got stuck, so I couldn't be bothered. So I came back. I just decided I'd do a list of the deck I was going to use while I was up there. So the list is TG Chaos Agents. I say that because when you say to people, "Oh, I'm playing TG Agents," they say to you, "You're not playing TG Agents, you're playing Chaos Agents." So I'll put it as both. So we'll start with main deck first. We start with the Agent tech. So you play the Agent of Mystery Earth. Earth is your searcher for Venus, so you just normal summon. You can add Venus to hand. You can't add Earth for good reason. If Sanctuary on the Sky is on the field, you can add Hyperion as well. But obviously you don't. But I don't play Sanctuary in the Sky, and not a lot of Agent players do, to be honest. So 3 Earths. I also play 2 Agent of Creation Venus. I would normally play. I would play 3, and it was at 3. I had it at 3 for quite a while. Honestly, I don't think 3 is actually needed because once you've got the Shine Balls out, this sort of loses its purpose. So it's at 2. I mean, it's 1600s. You pay 500 life points, especially some of the Mystical Shine Ball. So it allows you to go into rank 2 Exceeds quite easily, actually. So 2. Play 3 Mystical Shine Balls. You play 3 simply because you can. You max it out. It gives you nice and easy light fairy targets that you're not as fussed about getting rid of for Hyperion. Also, Venus. This is a good target. Obviously, this is Venus's target, so you need 3 of it. Also, some of the cards in my extra deck do require 3 level 2s, so you need the Shine Balls for that. The Reclaimed Boss Monster of Agents, Master Hyperion, play him at 3. His summoning requirement's quite easy, just banishing an agent, and then you can just banish light fairies from your graveyard in order to pop a card on the field. Again, if Sanctuary was on the field, he can do this twice a turn rather than just the one. I can't say much more about it than that. It's a 27 beta, so it's actually quite high attack points for what it is too. So that's the agents. So going on to the TG part of the deck, I play triple TG Striker, simply because no monsters, special summon, and not to mention Striker is a tuner, so it's a really quick and easy way of making synchro summons, because this deck is pretty much Exceed Synchro Beatdown. I also play 3 TG Warwolf. Warwolf is actually, if you open with a Venus and a Warwolf in your hand, you are guaranteed to be going into some serious Exceeds in your first turn, because you can go Venus, then with Venus you can summon however many Shine Balls you want, and then you can special Warwolf on the Shine Ball summon, so you can overlay the Venus and the Warwolf, and you can overlay your Shine Balls, so this is really versatile. Also the TGs, when they're destroyed, they search for the other, so if Warwolf's destroyed, I can search for Striker and vice versa. So that's the TG part of it. Basically, the TG part is just to aid synchro summons and just to make it that little bit faster. So we'll come on to what reclaims the Chaos with a lineup of triple Tour Guide. What else do you want me to say other than Tour Guide is a good card? It allows you to go into nice and quick rank 3 Exceeds, so Zen Mains, Leviair, that kind of thing that really assists the deck. 1 Torbus from the Underworld. I don't know if you can see it, but it's secret, which I'm actually quite proud of, to be honest, because secrets are damn near impossible to get hold of, but I finally got one. Torbus in this deck is actually quite useful, because when it's sent, even as an Exceed material, when it's sent to the graveyard, you can target a card in either player's graveyard and shuffle it back in. So you can recycle things you might be running low on. So, for example, you might have ended up using all your Tour Guides already, or you might need BLS or something back that's gone quite fast, so you can shuffle it back into your deck. So Torbus is good, and it's a Tour Guide target. 1 Gen Exile Birdman. A good strategy with this is to summon a Tour Guide, and then with when the second Tour Guide summons, you can bounce the second one back to hand and special Birdman. Because with Tour Guide, the second one you summon can't be used as synchro material. So by bouncing the Tour Guide back and summoning Birdman, you can synchro for 6 quite easy, and you've still got a tour guide in your hand for later use. Obviously, he's banished when he leaves the field, so that includes for synchro summons. So that is his only downside. But other than that, he's quite good. Black Luster Soldier and Chaos Sorcerer, the Chaos Brothers as they're called. Yeah, I know they're both gold rare. Please, please, please don't. Like, I'm not as rarity whorish as Julian. It's just a case of whatever rarity I can get it in. Chaos Orc banishes a card, so it gets over the really awkward things you don't like. BLS is the same, except that he's got a 3k attack boost strapped to him, and he can attack twice as long as he kills a monster. So they're good for that reason. And plus, not to mention, you have a massive amount of light and darks in this deck, so they're quite easy to summon. One Thunder King Ryo. I don't know if you're beginning to notice a trend with the decks on this channel, but we all play T-King. T-King is too good a card not to play, to be honest. I really, really, really like him. He's a bit awkward to play around sometimes, especially when you've got things like Earth in hand, but other than that, you don't really care. So he's really good. And finally, Honest. You have light targets, the majority of your monsters will be light, nice and simple. So I understand the monster count is quite high, but I feel that it needs to be. I find it consistent with a high monster count. So the next lot of spells, so we do 3 Mystical Space Typhoon, max it out in this deck. I know in other decks I've said 2 is a decent number, but in this one you definitely want to max it out. Because it can get rid of the back row before you go summoning Hyperion, so it's just protection. 2 Forbidden Dress. Dress is a good card. It's good protection. I prefer Dress to Lance because Lance might say, "Oh, I'm unaffected by spell and trap cards," but you lose 800. But Dress is you lose 200 less attack points, and it can't be targeted or destroyed by anything, which is why I prefer Dress to Lance. I mean, a lot of people disagree with me, but that's my opinion. I play 1 Mind Control. Mind Control's in here until I can get my hands on a Soul Charge, because Soul Charge would probably be better for me. Mind Control, other than that, is actually working pretty well at the minute, I must admit. Mind Control, just take control of any of their monsters, and then it can't attack or be tributed, but as long as that monster's got a level, what's to stop you from summoning a tuner and synchro summoning with their monster? It's a shame Star Eater's like a level 10 or something. And it's also unfortunate that Mind Control is a target, otherwise it would just get over everything. And a Dark Hole. Enough said about it. So that's that. So we'll go on to trap cards. I played 2 Divine Wrath. Divine Wrath just pretty much it's a good thing to negate the activation of effect monsters and whatnot. And not to mention, it's a good discard agent to get rid of stray shine balls that might be in your hand or light fairy targets. A Compulse, just to bounce those pesky cards. A Bottomless, to banish those pesky cards. A Solemn Warning, to negate the summon of those pesky cards. A Mirror Force, to destroy those attacking pesky cards that want to kill you. And a Phoenix Wing, to bounce those pesky cards again. I like the word pesky, it's good. I'm not so sure about this. I might take this out for something like a 7 Tools of a Bandit, but I really like Phoenix Wing at the minute. So that's main deck. Extra deck. Bearing in mind the extra deck's not as good as I want it to be, but for the time being it's actually pretty good. Well, I feel it's good anyway. It gives me the options that I feel it needs and that you can go into. So, start with number 96, Dark Mist. I admit Dark Mist it's a card. Its summoning requirement is a bit high, I must admit, but when you get it out, a lot of people find this extremely difficult to get over, because if they attack you just attach, and then this is always 100 points stronger, which annoys people no end. But this card is decent, and not to mention, it's not once per turn, it's once per battle, so people can keep trying to poke it, and you can keep doing it as long as you've got the Exceeds. 1 Gachi Gachi Gentatsu. Gentetsu is pretty much every agent player's bread and butter. If they're overlaying 2 Shine Balls, this is what they're going to go into 9 times out of 10. It's a good defensive wall, it detaches to save itself, and all monsters gain 200 attack and defense just because this is on the field. Well, actually, all your monsters, I should mention. It's a really good card, you can't floor it, especially not in this deck. One Herald of Pure Light. Herald, it's an odd choice. A lot of people don't play it. I play it because it's 1 light, 2 it's fairy, and 3 it can recycle things back from your graveyard. Its effect is you detach. You can add a card from your graveyard back to your hand, and then you can take 1 card from your hand and shuffle it back into your deck. So it recycles. It recycles twice basically. So you can pop things back into your deck that you might want for later, and get things out of your grave you want for now. So that's rank 2's only played that. Bearing in mind I probably will get a Daigusto Phoenix at some point. But rank 3's, so 1 Wind Up Zen Mains. Zen Mains, I don't really know what you want me to say about it. It's Zen Mains. 1 Leviair the Sea Dragon. Leviair just pretty much brings back the banished cards that people might have banished, and not to mention you're banishing quite a bit in this deck, like your agents, your shine balls, any light fairy targets. So Leviair can bring those back for you. Then we have the new edition, Ghost Trick Alucard. Alucard, I only picked up today actually, before I left to go to the regionals. Alucard, he's a really good card. I love this card to bits. I love his card art, to be fair. Before I played Alucard, I was playing Mechquick Engineer, which is again a light fairy target. But Alucard I find is better, so he's in there for that reason. And Leviathan Dragon, let's beat over everything. It's that easy. So that is the Xyz part of it. Now we're going to go on to the Synchro, because this deck is quite adaptable to whatever strategy you want. So I play 1 Armory Arm. So you can just attach to your Xyz. Like I had this attached to a Leviathan Dragon the other day, and it was on 25. I had Gachi on the field too, so that makes it 29. This makes it 3,900. So it's big. Then we have the Ally of Justice Catastor. It's just anything non-dark this blows up, so this is really good against things like Mermail and whatnot, as long as you can protect it, bearing in mind. Celestial Warflore Blue Cyrus is my level 6. A lot of people like to play things like HTS Simoth over Blue Cyrus, but I prefer this because it can weaken your opponent's strongest monsters simply just because they've destroyed it for you. So it can weaken things like an Abyss Megalo or a Gaius. So it can make it much more manageable and easier to get over. 1 Black Rose Dragon, nuke the field, enough said. 1 Stardust Dragon. Stardust, well, everyone knows what Stardust does. I'm just going to negate your effects, and in the end phase I'm coming back. Stardust is very easy to poke over, which is his only downside. But Stardust Dragon is just good for defense. It's basically a Starlight Road for you. 1 Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader, oh god, I can't say how many decks this is good against. Heretic Dragons. I was doing a practice match before I left this morning. It's Heretics. You just go Crimson Blader, Crimson Blader. You can't do anything, can you? Crimson Blader, Crimson Blader, and you can just continue to do it. It's a fantastic card. 1 Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon, just target a card on the field and destroy it. So I can pop things like Shine Ball that I don't want on the field anymore, and pop a card. It's really good, and plus it's got 2,800 attack points to boot. And my final card, and I know this one's going to cause some controversy in this deck, Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. A lot of people say to me, why are you playing Leo and not Star Eater? One very simple reason. I can make this in my sleep, whereas Star Eater requires a bit more out of me. This simply requires Hyperion and a level 2 tuner, which I have 6 of in the deck. Also, another thing I prefer about Leo is his price tag. He's like, what, 1, maybe 2 quid, whereas Star Eater's 10 to 15. I believe this card is better than Star Eater. I honestly do. I think it's better. So, for that reason, he's in my extra deck. So, that's TG Chaos Agents. I'll be updating again shortly with a Ghost Trick video. So, give us a like and subscribe. I'm going to be having a few more videos from my other friends as well soon. So, I'll see you soon with those as well.